goes down low. The 79 gets caught up in it just at the very end. The 67 though, and Nathan Stanley makes it on through free and clear. He, Paul Ferdiani, and Larry Dickerson having a drag race down in the for one last attack, getting underneath him, not quite able to make it stick, having to lift once again. Into exit of turn number 4, down onto the front straightaway here. Who's going to win it with the drag race? It's going to be Timothy Pope. First 3 and 4, 751 with a hefty lead here, about a half a car length as the one gets up into the wall with a run down. 200 feet. It's going to be a close one across the line. Garrett Wells made it 3 wide on the far outside lane, picking up spots left and right here as everybody fighting for every single spot we go. Coming across the line, white flag. So here we go, final lap. Hello and welcome, race fans. It is Friday night at last, where we get to see these Numb Thumbs Racing League Arca Series cars drive around the treacherous Richmond track here tonight 190 times. They're coming off of a race a couple weeks ago before Thanksgiving over at Southern National, and this one is going to be just as difficult. We cannot wait to see what happens here tonight. So let's get things all started on off with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, these great NTRL races wouldn't happen without some fantastic partners and sponsors, such as Davidson Builders on board here this entire season, as well as JP Designs and 3D Prints. Be sure to get in contact with them for some iRacing paint schemes or button boxes or any other 3D printing, plastic, whatever have you, button boxes, as well as Admin Box as well, the premier button box solution for race control admins, where at the push of a button they can throw yellow flags, wave arounds, black flags, whatever have you, it all right there with a simple push of a button. So be sure to reach on out there to Admin Box, as well as tonight's race sponsor, and that is Trek Dogs Racing. make sure that's up there correctly. TrackDogsRacing.com, the premier merchandising supplier over here for the NTRL. Be sure to head on over to TrackDogsRacing.com to pick up some of your NTR swag like hats, shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, tumblers, stickers, even some jerseys. So be sure to head on over there and order your next possible holiday gift, over there at TrackDogsRacing.com. Big thank you as well, Track Bar Media, bringing home some fantastic videography and still images of real life and sim life racing. And they even created that fantastic promo that I see that Jessica absolutely loves. So absolutely big time thank you to Track Bar Media, as well as SimGearCentral.com. Be sure to head on over there to pick up a button box that's got all the button styles, switches, knobs, levers, anything you could possibly think of, all right there at your fingertips to help you experience more in a sim like truck sim, farm sim, iRacing sim. Even I'm sure you could probably use it in the Sims. I don't know how you do that, but hey, you know what? I guess that's a popular game again nowadays. But either way, thank you guys to SimGearCentral.com, and be sure to let them know that AAA Broadcasting and the NTRL is sending you on over there to get 10% off your next order. Well, without further ado, I'm Alan Brown, and I am joined by me, myself, and I. It is a solo Alan broadcast here tonight. Both Mr. English and Adam Turner are down in the Oklahoma Choctaw Casino area going to see Travis Tritt. So hope they're having a fantastic time down there, and you guys get to have a unadulterated, uncensored me here tonight. So thank you guys for joining us for that, and I'm looking forward for this race. It's gonna be a good one. Gonna be difficult. It's a tricky 3/4 mile racetrack here at Richmond. As we take a look at tonight's race info, I've seen a lot of slipping and sliding here during practice, especially with those cold tires. It doesn't help though that it is a beautiful night race here tonight. And that's all we're asking for. Some beautiful weather under the lights. Friday night racing is what it's all about. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race, which is going to be you just got to hit your mark. I was talking with one of the drivers right before we were going live here, and it sounded like it was going to be a rough and rumble show. I even tried to bribe the drivers into driving clean here tonight, so we'll just have to see how that goes and plays on out. But either way, I think we're going to be in store for a good show, as they got to just try to hit those marks. It's a track where you're going to be finding a rhythm. If we get a good long green flag run in, everything will be a-okay, but it's just going to be a matter of getting past that little quick stat shoot of those cold tires. As let's head on down to that racetrack here, as we got people in their cars doing some qualifying right now. DW Bogus, Derek Welch, jumping on up there right now as he is putting in some laps, joining us here with the driver camera. You also got Nick Coate drifting through turns 3 and 4 right there, able to get that thing saved just in time before absolute calamity going on. Timothy Pope as well joining us here tonight, having a good time out down there. Of course, a big thank you to you guys over there in the YouTube chat. I will do my best here tonight to keep up with y'all. That doesn't mean, stop talking. Bring those comments on. I promise I'll try to get to them. Jessica saying happy Friday, and she's living for these hype videos. Of course, Stub Nation with Rebecca Davis as well. So we thank you guys for coming on out here. Michael Adamson saying howdy, guys. Glad to have you out there tonight, Mike. As Jessica's also saying, it sounds like trouble in Oklahoma with them. You best be dang sure that's probably what's happening, and I agree that DW, he really don't blink. I'm sure he's just staring right there at that computer screen. As we continue here with the qualifying right now, Neil Quick living up to that last name right now. On pole position, Timothy Pope just putting in a few extra practice laps here, kind of towards the end of his run. Also got Chris Klein in the 13 joining us out on the track right now, trying to put in some good laps. Josh Kelleher as well in that 73 machine, putting in some laps now, and trying to see where they can't figure themselves out up on this leaderboard. Cole Larson as well, driving the number 1919 machine here tonight. He's putting down his first couple sets of laps. Stubbs not out there quite yet. I don't know if he plans on starting in the back or what, but he currently not on out there. Same thing with Chris Clark, newcomer here, starting tonight. Same thing. And excuse me for if I say your name wrong. It's gonna be the number 12 machine, Braden Maservi. I hope I'm saying it right. Please, please definitely correct me, especially before there are two guys get back. Otherwise, they're gonna start making fun of me for saying your name wrong. Jessica thinking that Tim's gonna be starting here in the back, and you know what, I don't blame him. This track is gonna be absolutely brutal on these guys. I mean, just time and time again during practice, there's really not a lot of room when something starts happening. A car can get sideways here pretty quickly, and that blocks a good chunk of the race surface. Pit road entrance is gonna be a problem as well. It's very tight down there, so we slowly fade off here with the qualifying. About 3 minutes left for these drivers to get some laps in. Let's go ahead and take a ride around with that 13 of Chris Klein as he's putting in some extra practice laps right now. Of course, as I do so, he heads on down into pit lane to kind of close things up, maybe run to the bathroom, do whatever he's got to do. Ross Endicott saying, get Adam Tenderfoot. Rhythm track, save the tire, stay clean. Glad to have you out here in chat, Russ. Mike Adamson saying, Team Limitless is in the house. Yes, they are. They are running around out there here tonight. And, ooh, just like that, that is exactly what we're going to be watching out for, is little bitty drifts down there. You got to be careful of those inside walls, too. There's a lot of places where the wall kind of juts out and makes some weird angles. You can absolutely destroy your car. As, excuse me while I'm unprofessional here and pull up some of this race info stuff that I know Adam Turner usually does pretty good at. But right now, the incident count, you get 18x, you get a penalty, and then every other 7x. And once when you get to 25, you do get DQ'd, and you will have 2 fast repairs here tonight as well. I don't know what their tire situation is. I got a tire set limit in the race 5, so they're gonna have a total of 5 sets available to them here tonight. But I got a feeling we're probably not gonna have to be seeing too many tire changes, especially with how cold tires react. I'm thinking people are probably gonna want to prefer to run on the older tires for as long as possible. Just a few moments left here in qualifying before we take to tonight's starting grid. We thank you all for coming on out here and joining us here tonight. As always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, as that just helps us out and even helps you guys out, because it alerts you guys every single time that we go live, as we are live 5 nights a week, and you don't want to miss a single second of the racing action that we bring to y'all. And same thing goes for that thumbs up button that you see. You know, the more people we get hitting that thumbs up button, the more the algorithm says, hey, let's send this on out to more and more people to hopefully, you know, grow this community, because I think we all have a pretty dang good time out here, and really love seeing everybody on out here as the drivers excuse me, make their way down to their race cars here and start to get gridded on up. So let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver is going to be starting here tonight. And that starts us off with that pole position winner. And it's going to be the 27 of Neil Quick. The 728 Timothy Pope will start here on his outside, with the 1 of Bogus Derek Welch going to be starting in that second row in third. He's going to have the 60 of Brian Neff to his outside in fourth. 84 Josh Bittner had a great qualifying run here as well, starting in a top 5 fifth. He's going to have a 72 Carson Conway starting on his outside in sixth. Seventh, we're going to have the 751 of Mike Adamson, the silent assassin, having some fun out there, with the 13 of Chris Klein starting in eighth. Right next to him, 41 of Tyler Holden is going to be starting this thing off in ninth, with David R. Harden in the 34 machine. He's going to be starting in 10th. 11th, we got Jeff Ottinger driving that 76 machine. He's going to have that Braden Maservi starting outside of him in 12th. Let's see here. Looks like Rich Blake is going to be starting us off here in 13th, with the 15 of Vince Short in 14th. Cole Larson is going to be starting us here in 15th, as well as, let's see here, Double O Joe Bennett starting in 16th. Nick Cope will bring us home 17th, with the 18 of Larry Dickerson in that 69 machine. Albert Anderson, 747. He's going to be starting this one off strong up there, kind of in the middle of this field. Got James Bowden in that 53 machine starting in at 20th. Stubbs in 21st. Chris Clark in 22nd. Josh Kelleher here in 23rd. Looks like Justin Morrow will be here in 24th. Double nickel of Tom Barish will be starting here 25th. And I believe Dave Hoitzma is race controller here tonight. And that is your starting grid for Richmond here in this Num Thumbs Racing League Arca Series. As we head on out and around here, Quick and Pope line up behind the pace car, whose lights have been turned off as we get ready to go green flag racing for the first time here tonight. Side by side, they trundle, heading through turns 3 and 4, now headed down the front straightaway. Green flag is waving, and away we go for the first time here tonight. Side by side, down into turns 1 and 2. Quick and Pope still side by side. Watch those cold tires, boys. Looks like everybody able to keep her locked on down here. Nice and clean all the way through. Still almost side by side. Looks like Timothy Pope on the outside getting a little bit better of a run. Starting to run away here just a little bit, as the 60 of Brian Neff getting a run on the outside of that 2 machine of Neil Quick. He's actually the 27 out there, just numbers not quite lining up. 1 of Derek Welsh sitting in right behind these guys. We do have some great racing going on behind the rest of them. You got Chris Klein side by side right now with that 41 of Tyler Holden. You got Rich Blake as well. He's side by side with that 76. Jeff Ottinger almost going 3 wide here as they head on down through turns 3 and 4. Man, what happened here to Tim Pope? He absolutely dropped like a rock. He's definitely feeling something as he heads on down into pit lane here as the racing action continues. The 15th, Vince Short goes for a wild ride and ends up snagging the inside wall, hitting the grass, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag. Ooh, and we got even more action going on out there, I think, when people started checking on up. So let's go ahead, kind of watch what happened first with DW here, kind of up towards the front. just scraping with that 2 machine. Oh, and it snapped loose on him, and that's what originally brought out the caution, as people just kept piling up onto him there, flipping him over. Oof, that was absolutely brutal. But the 15 of Vince Short, he went for a wild ride there in the inside grass. Let's kind of trundle on back here, see what really caused that. It looked like it was almost going 3 wide there, and it almost was. The 34, the 12, and the 15 all having a come together, and ooh, hard impact. And these cars do have that new damaged model, and you can see that left front wheel completely destroyed. The suspension is no longer officially attached to the race car. He is definitely going to be using that fast repair here early on, as we now have our first caution of the night. Static out there in YouTube land saying go Albert, cheering on America's driver at 747 of Albert Anderson. And Peyton McGowan saying, hey everyone, unfortunately Josh's nephew Jeff couldn't make it tonight, but he wanted me to say hi. Well, glad to have you out here, Peyton, and I know whatever Jeff's got going on, you know what, that's all right. We'll that's the reason why we put these things up on YouTube. You can watch them back later, and that's always fun too. So we sit behind the pace car here for the first time tonight under our first caution. These guys not expecting to come on down to the pits really, unless you got some damage anytime soon. I do know that you know, with those tire sets and the fuel and this, that, and the other thing, either way, it's 190 laps, which is it sounds like a big number, and I mean it is a large number. However, it is only a 3/4 mile race track, and they're doing laps well under green flag, you know, under 30 seconds here, so it's not too bad. That's excuse me for 2 seconds. You guys are going to want to see this as we continue to just kind of pace behind the pace car a little bit here, having ourselves a good old time. We're gonna start getting all stacked up back to double file here and getting things all up and running. As the pace car makes its way on down onto pit road safely and out of danger, as we go back to green flag racing with the 60, getting a great jump here on the 84 and the 27, able to shoot way out in front. He's going to be well out of the danger zone now. That's going to bring the 751 of Mike Adamson and the 72 together here for just a quick second. The 751 getting a good line there. Now the 62 of Rich Blake trying to make some moves as we go back to this green flag racing. 12 of Braden Miservi having a heck of a race here as well, moving up inside of this top 10, trying to pick up some extra spots here. The 5 Nick Coate battling it out as well. He's side by side with that 62 machine, hustling and bustling, having a great time out there, side by side racing action. Albert Anderson tucked up behind the 69 of Larry Dickerson right now, having a grand old time there himself. In short, back to it side by side with the big ass fans machine of the 76, Jeff Ottinger. Side by side they go as a 15 takes that spot away. Still got Dickerson and Anderson having that great fight. Brian Neff running the fastest lap of the evening out there way out in front. Rich Blake still tucked up into line as well. Looks like Chris Klein is now side by side with the 19 of Cole Larson, and he's able to squeeze right on by through there. So doing a good job now getting some green flag laps in and run for these guys. We take a ride here with the 00 Joe machine of Joe Bennett. He's trying to make up some ground right now, just outside of the top 10, tucked up behind the 69. The good news is he's got plenty of time to make some of that ground up, and we look forward to seeing him do so. As well as in front of him, things starting to tighten on up once again. The 72, he's facing a big battle here with that 5 and Nick Coate. They're going nose to tail, almost single file here through turns 3 and 4. Now back down across the line. The 5 looking way down low, trying to get the run on Carson. Not quite able to get it just yet. With a little bit of a squeeze, though, he does make it. And he's going to be able to squeak that position away. And now it looks like the 62 of Rich Blake is going to follow him on through here as well. 73 Josh Kelleher, he's side by side now with that 15 of Vince Short. Vince trying to claw his way back up this leaderboard as the 27 of Neil Quick starts to fall back another spot here to that 751 of Mike Adamson, who's now up into third. Got the double nickel of Tom Barish out there still having a great time. He's up 13 spots on the day all already, even though it's this early in the race, and he's having a good time in 12th in a pretty good battle. He's got 00 Joe, he's got Stubbs there, Vince Short, Josh Kelleher, all around that area. So be looking forward to seeing some great racing action come out of that grouping here. Josh Bittner able to try to catch up to that 60 of Brian Neff a little bit here and close down that gap. Of course, the tires now definitely kind of warmed up, and these guys can push it a little bit harder now and see really where those cars can take them. As here comes Stubbs side by side coming on down through the line. He's got Tom Barish down there, and it looks like he's going to have James Bowden and Chris Klein filtering on through as well. Not much in the way of beating and banging as the 12 of Braden goes side by side with the 747 of Albert Anderson. Larry Dickerson in the 69 machine now facing that challenge from the 15 Stub Nation, and Stubblefield going to try to follow him on through as well. Russ Endicott out there in the YouTube saying entry point and exit speed are crucial here. Got to get in a groove, and I think we're starting to see these guys kind of find that a little bit, and they're able to run some pretty good laps as the 69 and the 92 now fight for some top 12 spots. Klein trying to shuffle on through as well as the side-by-side battles continue as Josh Bittner fights for the lead here with the 60 of Neff. That's also bringing that 751 of Adamson, the 27 of Quick, and the 5 of Nick Coate into the action again. So here they go side by side down through turns 1 and 2 and back down this back straightaway here. 84 looking very strong here tonight, making his groove and making it work as he takes control of this race, leaving that 60 to try to defend himself against that 751 of Mike Adamson as the side-by-side race and action continues on here. Ooh, boy, it is tricky as things continue to roll on here tonight. Well, Jessica, I will say the speeds are a little bit slower than normal. They're really only getting up to a measly 140 miles an hour as compared to some other places where they're getting 180. But they're, three small track, less than a mile, and they're running very quick lap times, still under that 23-second mark for pretty much just about everybody. I know we got some great racing going on that might be slowing some people down, like between the 53 and the 13. You also got the 69 and the 92 having a little bit of a tizzy. Still having a good battle for some top 12 spots. Carson Conway in the 72 machine. He's now got the 12 of Braden Maservi sitting there as well. All drivers inside of this top 10. Albert Anderson there in 9th as well, just kind of lurking right behind these guys as the green flag laps continue to roll on. As hot off the presses coming from the concert, I give you our good friends playing hooky today down there to see Travis Tritt. That's English and Turner joining on up. They're excited, and I'm sure they're already probably about 80 beers deep, each of them, so a total of 160. But, when you got the time and you got the concert, you do what you got to do. So they're definitely having a great night down there as Mike Adamson makes his way around that 60 of Brian Neff. Actually, a lot of people have made their way around Brian Neff here. Nick Coate did as well as Neil Quick. So your top 5 right now is Bittner, Adamson, Coate, Quick, and Neff. And then you got a little bit of a back to where the 62 of Rich Blake is. He's trying to catch back on up to these guys. He's starting to eat away at that gap a little bit, but it's still sitting there right about a second and a half. You got a good field as well right around Tim right now in that 92 machine. James Bowden in the 53, you got the 55, Tom Barish, Josh Kelleher there, as well as the 76 of Jeff Ottinger. Chris Clark in the 91 machine, one of the new guys coming on in here right now. Racing as a 7, but things will get changed on up, so he's been gifted the 91 number, I believe, and things will get figured on out here. So racing continues to roll on as Tyler Holden in the 41 races with the 728 of Timothy Pope. Both drivers a lap down right now. Same thing with Derek Welsh, but Derek Welsh is well out in front of these guys and trying to pick up that lucky dog spot, and hopefully things will work their way on out here tonight as Vince Short has a good battle with 00 Joe Bennett out there. Looks like Mike Adamson taking the lead spot away from Josh Bittner, and that was going to be short-lived because he's now battling hard with the 5 of Nick Coate, up 15 spots for that 5 machine, and Josh Bittner just sits back and patiently waits for these guys to figure things out before maybe making another go of it here. As some great racing continuing to roll on out. 36 of 190 in the books, and we continue to roll on here. The 15 in the 72 side by side. You can see there that one of Derek Welsh trying to shuffle his way back up through this field. Who knows, maybe he can get his lap back the hard way. As actually he's a couple laps down here, maybe even 3, but he's got a lot of work left to do here tonight. Yeah, Russ, I'm to be honest, I am a little jealous as well. And Jessica, come on, you know it's definitely someone's gonna be keeping their ear to the ground, ready to hear any whisperings of a rumble. And again, yes, Russ, I am as well impressed that they have gotten this green flag run the way they have, and they've been running a lot of green flag laps and how spread out it is. But you know, it's one of those things where I think it's now just like to the comfort level. I think people are understanding how these cars are really reacting and how they want to drive this race. This is very much a race where these drivers are racing against the racetrack and not so much against each other. Because I got a feeling at some point everybody's going to be making a mistake here tonight. But as of right now, other than that first caution that we had, we're looking pretty good. Some side-by-side action there with the DW. He's able to make it on through. Cole Larson now going one lap down. This is the first person we've had go a lap down during the green flag, as Albert Anderson, he's side-by-side with Braden right now. Looks like Albert just going to give that spot on up. Russ, because you're a fancy schmancy sim racer here, how many laps worth of tires and fuel do you think these guys have? Because I do not know, and normally that's Mr. English's thing. He's able to get out there and do some tests, and he's probably better at it than I am. But tires and fuel around 50. And at least take rights. I would agree with that. I would expect these guys probably to take 4. Unless something comes up kind of towards the end of the race, as we got a pile jam here with the 84, the 5, and the 27. The 84 making it on through, but the 27 and the 5 still going at it here, with the 27 a quick being able to reach back up and grab that third spot. You got the 751 Dodge machine of Mike Adamson. He's trying to fight around that 91 of Chris Clark and put him a lap down. Looks like he will be able to do it, but either way, this is some tough racing out here tonight. Side by side, we continue to race on, as now looks like the 41 to Tyler Holden going another couple laps down here, as Adamson is absolutely flying around here tonight. Dickerson and Klein now having a pretty good race. Stubbs lost a position to the 53 of James Bowden, but they're continuing to roll on, as there goes Klein now looking up the inside. Is he going to be able to make it work against that 69 machine? I don't believe it will stick. It's going to be tight as they come off this corner. Still side by side as they race down this back straightaway. Noses are even, doors are even, bumpers are even. Side by side down through turns 3 and 4. Heading off across the line. Being held right now by that 69. But man, oh man, these guys are... they're making this passing thing look very difficult. Almost a little bit of a squeeze and a bumper touch there, but able to keep it off of each other as the 13 and the 69 figure things out here for just a minute. And Josh Bittner now facing a challenge from that 27 of Neil Quick, as Neil looks underneath the 84 TrackDogsRacing.com machine. Of course, that's Bittner's dog there that you can sometimes see, depending on which angle you're looking at on that Arca car here tonight. And side by side they go down the back straightaway. Looks like Josh is going to be able to hold on to that spot as Adamson opening up a second plus lead now on the rest of this field at least. And we continue to race green flag laps here tonight. The 13 Chris Klein still having a good battle with the 69. 00 Joe Bennett and the 72 Carson Conway have things starting to heat on up as 84 and the 2/27 having a heck of a battle on out there. This race here at Richmond continues to roll on here. 00 Joe, he's trying to hold off that 72 of Carson Conway, and you can see there the 69 of Dickerson making a jab at it, looking down low here and trying to get the run. Not quite able to get all the spots there, but he was at least able to get the 72 behind him. You can also see that 13 of Chris Klein. So let's go for a ride here with the 46 of Justin Morrow. He's stuck in a little bit of traffic right now. He's got the 19. Ooh, snags that outside wall. As, ooh, man, everything happening all at once for him. Looks like the double nickel coming on down into pit lane, just as you kind of called it there, Mr. Endicott, saying the pit window is now open. Everyone holding out for a caution. And I think you would be right, and I think that would be my strategy here as well, because pitting puts you at least one lap down, if not the chance for two, and that is something you do not want to do, and then have a caution come out. We've seen it time and time again, people getting stuck that one lap down, as 00 Joe Bennett has a good battle with that 13 of Klein, and they're able to figure things on out here for the moment. James Bowden, he's going to go side by side here, and looks like lose a spot to that 92 of Stubblefield. Not really doing too much more movement, but up 7 spots on the day is that 92 here tonight. Albert Anderson continuing to kind of trickle backwards through this field. Same thing with the 12 of Braden. He's now sitting in 6th, but he's got that 62 of Rich Blake to his outside, and the 15 of Vince Short tucked up right behind him as they go side by side down through turns 1 and 2. Got that one of Derek Welsh continuing to try to fight and make up some ground here, as it looks like that 55 Tom Bear still down there in the pits. He's been down in there for a good chunk of time now. So he's definitely getting some damage done. We got Michelob there. Richard Gray, the oldest man in iRacing, saying AAA missing 2 A's. You go, A. I see what you're seeing there with your little old eyes, you. $60 laps in the books as we can continue to race along here at Richmond, approaching the 100 laps to go mark and about 30 more laps. And these guys are looking really, really good, especially once when they got those tires all kind of warmed up. You got Bowden, you got Ottinger and Kelleher all in a little grouping here as well. Racing action continues to boil on here tonight as the 5 of Nick Coate has a good battle with that 60 of Brian F. We've seen each of these guys share their time up at the front of this thing, slowly trickling on back. Tires definitely becoming a factor here. I think people's early on battles starting to rear their heads a little bit now, and people are really struggling to keep that consistent power down. However, they're still only running about a second slower than what their fastest lap times were. So, I mean, I think you're probably right, Russ. These guys are going to continue to roll on here and hold out for a caution, which is still definitely a possibility of coming out. But it definitely looks like these guys at least still have some pace left in these cars right now. Riding here on the roof of the 60 of Brian Neff as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. That's going to be an interesting battle to watch and see when these guys decide to come on down into the pits. Josh Kelleher in that 73 machine catching up here to the 27 of Neil Quick. Almost some contact there. Little beating and banging. That is something that Josh Bittner doesn't want to see, as he is right there behind him, trying to put some of these guys a lap down as the beating and banging continues to move on across this track. We do have people fighting for position and fighting against some traffic here as this race starts to kind of tighten it back on up. It's gonna be one of those things where people have very hard times trying to keep these cars together and keeping track of who you're actually trying to fight here, whether it's for possession or being put that one lap down. So occasionally you'll probably see, oh, we got a little bit of a wiggle there coming out of the 60 and Neff, able to get it back under control as the 5 goes in deep into turns looks like a 3 and 4, but he's able to hang on for the meantime. So a good save there from the 60 and good run away there for the 5. Vince Short still stuck here right behind the 12 of Braden Maservi, having a heck of a time trying to crack up into this top 6. Of course, Derek Welsh still trying to fight on through here, and he wants to get some laps back after that first caution, but he's going to have a heck of a time now as more and more people start being put that one lap down, as Mike Adamson catches up to some big glob of traffic here. He's sitting right behind that 92 of Stubblefield. He's got the 34 racing around him there. You got the 00 Joe Bennett machine racing around him there. That 76 of Jeff Ottinger. This is going to be interesting to watch. And I'd be curious to see if maybe Mike uses this chance and opportunity to head on down into the pit lane so he can get out of this traffic a little bit here. Which might actually be a smart call, but he's going to stay on out racing the 92 side by side across the line. Looks like Brian Neff has collected himself a run, and he's going to make a stab at the 5 of Nicholas Coate as they go side by side down through turns 1 and 2, now down the back straightaway. Not quite able to make that run stick as they head off down into turns 3 and 4, now down the front straightaway. Still side by side though, door to door, bumper to bumper, as the 5 now just closes that door shut all over the front of that 60s hood. The action continues as just up in front of those guys, the 00 Joe Bennett machine in the 92 goes side by side here through turns 3 and 4. That's going to cause a little bit of a holdup in the traffic pattern as they continue to fight side by side. Better to get tires. Longer you stay out, slower you have to go. Catch 22, yes sirree indeed, as the side by side battle in action continues to wage on here between that 92. Looks like the 13 of Chris Klein coming on down into pit lane. As looks like Neil Quick, he's still got Josh Bittner tucked up behind him here, and they're dealing with some of this heavy traffic as well. As Brian Neff is now starting to deal with it with the 5 of Nick Coate too. So these guys having kind of like an endurance race problem here, where occasionally you'll find yourself with some wide open track and you can just let the thing fly, but then you'll just be found in a giant glob of traffic, and it's going to be very difficult to get on through here, especially on this older set of tires. Adamson, though, well clear of everybody out there, 2+ seconds, absolutely looking dominant here tonight, up 6 spots. So he didn't start way up at the front, but he was definitely starting up here inside of this top 10, and he is definitely making that car work for him here tonight. The Sanford, Florida native having a heck of a time out there. The side-by-side racing action continues, as it's hard to tell who's for position and who's laps down here, as Neff and Short are stuck in some traffic here, along with that 12 and the 53, all having problems of trying to find where that opened track is. Double O Joe Bennett, Josh Kelleher now making their way down into the same thing with that 60 of Brian Neff. I think these guys are starting to get to the point where they're running close to fumes, and so they're making their pit stops happen now. So pit cycles up underway here on lap 81 of 190, approaching that halfway point here in this race. The 12 now making his way on down, 747 of Anderson, 53 of Bowden, all coming on down as well. Josh Bittner and Neil Quick, though, they still have a battle raging on here for second and third. Of course, that 2/27 of Quick currently holding that spot as they make tracks and make ways around everybody down there in the pits. Larry Dickerson and Stubblefield as well coming into those pits to make their pit stops. But we had 25 people take to the grid here tonight, and it looks like David Harden having an issue down there, not back out there just yet, but I believe still have at least 23 or so cars still running. Oh, as yellow flag comes out, and that is exactly what some of these guys were waiting for during these green flag pit stops here, and I think this involves the 60 of Brian Neff, and it indeed does. Let's go back and watch what happened with the 60 machine. Just fresh out of the pits, cold tires striking here. Soft-ish impact into that outside wall, and whoo, doggy. A little bit of a scary, wild ride there, but that's going to allow pretty much everyone who's left in that top 10, they're getting some freebie pit stops now, as everybody else is at least one lap, if not 2 laps down. And so great call for those guys that did stay on out, as Adamson looks like he's going to lead these guys on down into the pit lane. The 12 is going to stay out. Of course, the 12 already hit his pit box here, so he's trying to get some wave around spots. And during this brief little intermission, of course, we always have to thank our great race sponsors, such as tonight's main sponsor, TrekDogsRacing.com. Head on over there to buy some of your NTRL merchandise. You got some specific driver merchandise, you got some just overall stuff. And I mean, it is, you know, it's creeping up on this winter time. Right now I'm staring at a temperature of 30 degrees where I'm at, and man, that's pretty dang cold for some of y'all, but for me that's a sweatshirt weather. So I'm gonna maybe pick myself up one of those NTRL sweatshirts, hoodies, or whatever have you. Who knows, maybe you'd like to head on into the gym, get some workouts done. Well, they've got some great t-shirts for that as well. And Of course, who could forget your morning coffee? That's all important as well. So be sure to head on out there and order your next round of merchandise from TrekDogsRacing.com. And Florida man Mike caught the lucky caution is for sure. As this race rumbles on around here, people trying to figure out where they're supposed to be and whatnot. I think we'll get some interviews in here. Just gotta find people's right names and make sure we're not going too wide just yet. No, whiskey and typing definitely do not mix. However, I think English and Turner would disagree with you, and they'd say, "Oh, it's easy. You just got to get practice at it." That's let's go ahead and talk to one of these drivers, like the 62 of Mr. Rich Blake. Hey, Rich, it's Alan up here in the booth. Got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, had a good green flag run there after that quick caution. It looked like, you know, time-wise, the tires weren't too bad, but it looked like trying to pass people, though, that was the problem.
Well, it's a struggle. When you get some laps on these tires, man, it's hard to hustle the car around.
That we can definitely tell. Now that everybody's pretty much all gotten their pit stops done, do you expect it might take another extra second here to get back to that kind of rhythm, or do you think people are going to be able to jump right back into it?
Well, the biggest thing is just on the cold tires. If they let the temperature get back in the tires, then we should be okay.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for taking the time, and good luck out there.
Hey, thank you. No problem.
So we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a second. Everybody getting all stacked back on up. Lights on the pace car turn off. Adamson, Bittner, Short, Blake, Quick, and Coat. Those are all the drivers you have on this lead lap right now. As then we got Morrow, Clark, Dickerson, Anderson, Klein, Neff. Man, we just got so many people here one lap down, all the way down to Stubblefield here in 16th. So from 7th to 16th, they're all one lap down. And then you've got Braden Maservi, you got Derek Welch. They're a couple laps down. Larson, Pope, Bowden, Ottinger. They're a few laps down. Holden and Harden all laps down. It looks like Harden, though, still disconnected, though. So as we go back to green flag racing here tonight, side by side they go. And man, a great restart there for that 751 of Adamson, getting way out in front of Short and Bittner. Bittner scraping that outside wall just a little bit, as here comes that 15 machine on that fresh set of tires, coming in hot and strong, side by side. This rages on. Oh, as we got some issues going on backwards in this field. Yellow flag is out, and this one happened right around where Coach or Slim or however you want to nickname them is out there. Let's go ahead and see kind of what happened. Oh, coming off the corner, the 53 gets involved with the 72 there, bringing out the caution. And that's that cold tires that Rich Blake was just telling us on about. And these things are definitely very treacherous. Let's try to jump on up here to our sponsored, not sponsored camera. As coming off the corner, man, he did as best as he could in that 72 machine to try to save that, but not enough. And unfortunately for the 53, it's going to get snagged up, involved in that one. So we head on back down to Payson here, as this field slowly makes its way up to the halfway point in this race. Only our third caution of the night. To be honest, I thought we were going to be on caution number 18 by now, but you know what? I am certainly happy That we are not. Can we thank you guys for joining us out here tonight and having some good talks with all of y'all. I know Mr. Endicott, glad to have you in the chat. It's been a good hot minute before since we last seen you out there being all communicative and all that. Looks like Nicholas Coates and Larry Dickerson getting some laps here and trying to loop their way back around. Yeah, ready to try to get back to some green flag racing here. So while we got a quick second, we can talk to tonight's race sponsor, and that's gonna be the 84 machine of Mr. Josh Bittner. Having a fun time on out there, Josh. It looks like now that we had that long, almost 90 lap green flag run, which was awesome. I absolutely love that. Cold tires, I think people need to get back into that mindset so we can get back to a run like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty concerned that we might fall into a pit of repetitive yellows now that half the field got trapped a lap down plus, so guys are going to be driving in over their heads. We just needed to get another long run again. I know Tim's trapped the lap down on our team, but Mike and I think our goal is just to, not to bring out a caution.
Yeah, and Mike is definitely in almost like a whole nother world here tonight. That last run, he was just absolutely gone from everybody, even slicing and dicing through traffic. Is this just one of those tracks that you can kind of see, like, from a teammate aspect of it? Like, man, even if I don't get a chance to win this thing, I'm going to help out Mike as much as I can and maybe slow some people up and make passing difficult.
Yeah, that's the goal, and Vince Short moseyed his way up here, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes on the restart.
Awesome, buddy. Well, good luck down there.
Thanks.
So we go back to green flag racing. Adamson getting the good jump. Oh, no, I think I interrupted the 84's thought process there as they were going back live. And he didn't get as good of a start. The 15 and the 27 go side by side. Now the 15 looking on down low to that 751. Side by side racing for the lead here just after halfway. Still side by side with Mike Adamson by a bumper. Holding on to that spot. You got the 27 and the 84. Who are having a great battle all of that last run, having a good battle there for a second, and now the 84 is battling with that 5 of Nick Coate. The 12 having some good run here as well. Of course, that's actually trying to figure out who exactly the 12 is. Oh, excuse me, the 12 is lapped down, and that's Braden Maservi here, as they continue to run side by side, racing for this race lead. 751, I think, just gave that spot away here just to finish that battle off. He'll be under the mindset of trying to pick that one back later on when tires are start to worn down just a little bit here. He's now got the 27 of Neil Quick sitting right behind him. Battling for some spots here, though, is the 84 and the it's the 747 and the 13, as they are side by side battling inside of this top 10. They got the 84 there in front of them. The 60 of Brian Neff is kind of stuck there as well, as we continue to rumble on here tonight and have ourselves some fun in Richmond. Past that 100 number mark here, so we're just under 90 laps left to go in this race here tonight. Adamson still having some problems up there. trying to keep people at bay, but right now looks like that 27 of Neil Quick, though, having just a little bit better of a run. You still got Conway, Stubblefield, Bennett, and Clark all having a good battle back here inside of this top 15, the 92 and the 72 going side by side back here. Rumbling down here in Richmond, the 19 having a good battle right now. Oh man, things are looking tight in this midfield. Almost getting a car down there towards that inside wall. That's 00 Joe as we almost go 3 wide with the 72, the 92, and 00, but things figured themselves on out. The one of Derek Wells still fighting, trying to get some of these laps back. Excuse me, that's the 72. Carson Conway takes that 92 a couple wide there and continues to make way as we're 3 wide here again, going down this back straightaway, and again they are able to figure it out before reaching turns 3 and 4. Albert Anderson kind of splitting the difference here between the 13 and the 60 right now, kind of trying to stay inside of this top 10. They do have some gap between themselves and that 73 of Josh Kelleher, but if they battle, it's gonna be very, very difficult. Adamson finally getting kind of clear of some of these challengers now. And same thing with that 15 and Vince Short, just absolute chaos happening up here at the front as some wall scraping going on here. See there, even the 728 of Timothy Pope, we normally see him do extremely well at tracks like these, just got stuck that lap down, and now he's fighting for some spots as he and the 15 have a good little jostle battle right now. But Neil Quick out in front of that 751 of Mike Adamson. Single filed out here as we race on and have about 80 laps left to go. Klein, Anderson, and Neff, some of the closest fights that we got going on right now. Looks like we got Holden, Bowden, and Morrow stuck down there in the pits trying to get some damage done. Looks like Harden and Barish both calling it a night as well out here as laps continue to be trickled on off, and the 27 of Quick kind of runs away with it right now, but definitely expect things to tighten back on up. I think we're still probably gonna have to see one more round of pit stops. It's gonna be a little close, I think, for these guys, but who knows? I could most definitely and am probably wrong on that one. Chris Clark in the 91 racing against that 73. Josh Kelleher goes side by side through turns 3 and 4. Excuse me, that was turns 1 and 2. Still having some good battles out there side by side. You see behind him there, the one Derek Welsh trying to get around the 72 machine. Looks like he's able to do that as the Mark 7, but the 91 continues to race side by side here. Oh, are we back? Hopefully we're back. Are we back? I think we're back. Okay. Woo! Alright, so internet decided to not want to be internet there for a second. Chris Klein continues to race on here against Albert Anderson side by side with Brian Neff. Having a good battle going. Rich Blake as well, trying to hold off that 15 of Vince Short back here and try to maybe make up some of that gap up to that 5 of Nicholas Coate. Continuing to have a good battle on out there. Brian Neff looks like he is finally able to try to get around that 747. I know Chris Klein was able to, but still a difficult pass to be made as we continue to race on here, coming from Richmond in this NTRL Arca Series race. Carson Conway still side by side with the 73, battling and battling here, and that's the name of the game. You got to battle for every position possible here tonight, as Adamson now facing a tough challenge from that 5 of Nicholas Coate. Bumpers almost getting touched there, having some good jostling and jockeying for positions, as Nick Coate looking down low on that 751 machine. Side by side they go down this back straightaway. Looks like Adamson, though, is going to be able to hang on to that spot, as Rich Blake and Vince Short behind him go side by side right in front of that 728 of Timothy Pope. Pope trying to get these laps back still, and having these guys race in front of him, that's something he doesn't exactly want to see. Ryan Neff in the 60 machine, making his way around the 13 of Chris Klein. He's now got a tall order. It's about 18 seconds to catch on up to where the 69 of Larry Dickerson is. That's the next spot for him here for position, as the battles continue to wage on. Looks like Tyler Holden calling it a night, so we are down to 20 cars still out there on the track. The 53 of James Bowden still kind of stuck up in the pits for the time being. 73 of Josh Kelleher, he's trying to get back around that 00 Joe Bennett machine, as this field continues to rumble laps on here. Adamson not letting Neil Quick get away so easily here tonight. He's still tucked up right beside it, right behind him, I should say, as Albert Anderson goes side by side with the 13 of Chris Clark, passing him for position. Just a tough, long, and grueling race here tonight, as these guys just continue to grind it out, like you're saying there, Russ. Some people just do not know how to grind it out, and they never quit. It's that's just name of the game sometimes, because of course once we get down to it, if we see a late caution, man, in the aggressiveness, you know, always gets turned up to 11, as we're watching here the 15 and 62 right in front of the 84 of Bittner right now. Try to race for some top 5 spots, and of course Bittner saying, come on guys, you can figure it out, maybe even take each other out, and I can snag a few freebies here and move up this leaderboard more and more as we close in on the final 60 laps of this race. The 84 now trying to maybe follow the 15 on through. It's almost like a staggered 3 wide going on. The 84 able to make that inside line work, as he's now side by side with the 62 of Rich Blake. Still side by side as they enter turns 3 and 4. And oh man, it is tough going out there, as Adamson putting the heat on up here at the front, racing for this lead. As the race in action here continues, Kelleher having a good battle now with Double O Joe Bennett. Looks like Double O is going to be able to get that spot for right now. And man, this is tough as Mike Adamson, there he goes, makes a pass around that 27. We were waiting for it. When was he going to jump back on that opportunity to take control of this thing? And there he goes, making that pass. Let's go ahead and watch this battle that they had here to get this pass done. 751 making the dive down low, still side by side as they went, and it was going to be a side-by-side battle where they just kind of kept going back and forth for a good second before eventually that bottom side just, man, it just got the run, and he was able to stick it and just absolutely leg it and send it on down there and finish the move off. And no looking back now for that 751. You got Kelleher still stuck up behind Double O Joe Bennett here. Vince Short still looking pretty strong. Ooh, it's the 53 machine trying to decide what he wanted to do there. It looked like he might have went in a little hot, but able to race on here as Bittner just kind of looks forward through this field at who he could possibly maybe pick off with some late pit strategy here. But of course, we're at this stage where if you got enough to make it, you're probably going to want to race to the end here and not blow out those tires too much, because if you're stuck there doing, you know, like a second and a half slower than everybody else because your tires were absolutely toast, man, that is absolutely heartbreaking, and you can lose a ton of spots for it. Oh, don't you worry, Russ. I won't tell Albert that you think that Florida Man is gonna pick up the win here tonight, as Rich Blake and Vince Short get kind of all tangled up here, as Vince starting to kind of fall backwards a little bit. The 84 Bittner able to get around him here, back up into this top four. He's got a big ass though, about 2.5 seconds now to try to make his way up to a podium spot, as the 62 and the 15 go side by side down through turns 3 and 4. It looks like the 15 machine getting his sea legs back under him here and continues to run on, as the 92 trying to get around the lap traffic of the 19, and the Double O Joe Bennett machine is for position underneath them here, fighting for some spots up inside of this top 15 tonight. Double O Joe, one of your first takers though, coming on down into pit lane. He's gonna try to maybe get some new tires here and make them work for him and pick up some extra spots, as these guys are now starting to, I don't want to say struggle on older tires. They're still running within about a second of their main lap time here. Everyone having a pretty good run, as we're now down to the final 50 laps of this race. It's closing time here in Richmond. Double O Joe Bennett still currently our only taker down there in the pits, and of course, as I say that, here comes that 92 Timothy Stubblefield, 15 Vince Short, still trying to hold off that 62 of Rich Blake. Mike Adamson though, we're starting to run away ever so slowly, lap by lap, from that 27 of Neil Quick. You got the 12 sitting right there behind him, the 728 as well. Some of these guys absolutely are struggling here on the older set of tires. You still got that 5 of Nicholas Coate trying to catch back on up here, and still securely inside of a podium spot right now, but Bittner has closed up about a half a second on him while he was fighting with some of that traffic. He just finally got back around some traffic there. He's now got some empty track, and he can make tracks here. Double O Joe on those old tires, making his way out of pit road, having a little bit of an issue down there. He's stuck on the apron. He's trying to get back going so a yellow flag doesn't come out, but it was not in time. Ooh, man. So a somewhat late caution here for a whoops done by the Double O Joe Bennett machine. And that's going to bring this field a little bit closer together, and expect these guys to make some tire strategy decisions here now. Possibility of 2 tire stops in the works for these guys here now. Looks like Adamson will lead the way on in. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting pit entry there. As Braden having a little bit of an issue. Go ahead and kind of see what happened with him. It looks like he ended up hitting the cone. I think he wasn't paying attention and realized, oh, that's where the pit lane is, and hit the barrels. Oh, and Josh Bittner getting snagged up because of that. Ooh, he is not going to be a happy camper. Hopefully he still has a fast repair. But looks like everybody getting their pit stops on done right now. Let's go ahead and see who wins the race. It's going to be Neil Quick, followed by Mike Adamson, and then Nick Coate and Vince Short. Brian Neff slowly follows them on out. The 84 Bittner. The no 2 tire stops is what I'm looking at here. Pretty much everybody taking that 4 tires and a full case of Sunoco race fuel as we continue to pace along here. Only our third of, I think this is caution number 4 on the evening. That yellow is sus. Well, he was sitting down there and he did try to get going, and it's just how iRacing throws them. I don't believe any of the race control admins threw that one. So, fortunately, that's just how it goes. So we're going to have a 50-ish, no, it's going to be closer to 40 lap dash for the final remainder of this race here tonight. As we watch these guys pace around, we again thank you guys so much for tuning in to our broadcast here tonight, especially while I'm sitting here all by myself and don't have my 2 best friends with me. But either way, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you get alerted every single time that we do go live. And we go live 5 nights a week, and normally it is the 3 of us, but of course Turner and English are both out there enjoying some live country music, and they definitely deserve it for all the hard work that they do. But we really do these broadcasts for all of y'all out there, and we look forward to seeing you guys out here each and every single week as we get stacked back up and ready to rumble. But man, oh man, this one's gonna start getting tight as everybody really starting to fight for those positions. 8 cars left on this lead lap. Albert Anderson currently holding on that lucky dog spot as we enter in the final chase of this race. The pace car making his way on down into pit road. Side by side they go. Green flag is out, and away we go with a good start there from that 27 machine. The 751 of Mike Adamson having to battle with that 5 of Nick Coate. The 84 Bittner trying to squeeze on up here as well. Bittner does have a short run car. It would be interesting to see how long he can make that short run last here, as 40 laps really isn't that short of a run. Oh, as the 751 goes around, causing a big pile up here. Anderson involved, the 76 involved. Oh my goodness. A lot of people getting snagged up in that one. And Anderson, I believe, did get an incident point, so he will not be getting the lucky dog here after that one. Let's go ahead and just kind of see what happened here. And it looked like it might have just been cold tires here for that 751 machine, heading on down into the corner. Just getting those tires loose here. Oh, 69 getting absolutely pummeled. The 13, the 62, 76, the 60, the 73 as well. Oh, the 92, while he was trying to get clear, some of the traffic gets snagged up in it as well. So, whew, dog, everybody getting all bunched on up here. And that is kind of what we're starting to maybe expect here, especially with how these guys... Especially with how these guys are racing here tonight. Things are going to get turned on up, and which means things are going to get more and more interesting. Adamson, as kind of expected, coming on down, getting some damage repaired, as well as the 73 of Kelleher. One of Derek Welsh getting some damage fixed as well. Timothy Pope, Cole Larson coming on in as well. Still got 19 cars racing here tonight as we continue to roll on and keep on. So let's go ahead and talk to another driver here. Who should we talk to? Let's see here. Let's yeah, here we go. We can talk to the 15 machine of Mr. Vince Short. I think. Let's make sure the lights are still on. Yes, they are. So we talked to that 15 machine, Mr. Vince Short, making some waves there. Vince cutting up through some traffic, up 10 spots now, finding some good long run speed there. We had a couple really good long runs going on out there. Just a couple late cautions now, bringing everybody back here into this fight. What are you expecting to maybe see here in the final few laps that are remaining?
Considering who's around me, a lot of aggression. It's a fine line where you can keep it, the wheels to the ground, and just stay steady, and that's what I'm trying to do, stay consistent with my throttling.
Yeah, especially on those cold tires on these restarts, that's kind of what we've been seeing is once when you guys get about 10 laps in, everything's like pretty much all set in stone until maybe some pit stops happen. But you know, we're coming on down to it. We're under 40 laps left to go here, and I'm sure this aggression is going to be cranked up to 11.
10-4.
On back down to his teammates there in the Holler Boys Racing chat, as we get things all stacked back up and ready to rumble here. Gonna have Quick out in front with the 5 of Nicholas Coate out there as well, as the green flag waves, and away we go back to racing here in Richmond. The 84 of Bittner trying to make a quick dive down, making it 3 wide here for the lead right off the jump. The 2 in the 5. The 5 drifts on back, giving that 84 some chance to maybe pick up a run here on that 27 of Neil Quick. Side by side, still racing strong though, as they make their ways through turns 3 and 4. Ooh, the 15 snagging that outside wall just a little bit, but continuing to run on, as he is side by side with the 62 of Rich Blake. The 27 though able to hang on to that front spot. Larry Dickerson now though He's in for some good fights, as well as he's got the 15 and the 60 kind of sandwiched between them here. You also got Brian Neff, Adamson, and Conway still fighting up on this lead lap inside of this top 10. Neil Quick setting the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, inside of 35 laps left to go. Still a ton of racing action left to be had here out of these drivers, as Nick Coate now starting to maybe try to look underneath of that 84 Bittner. And that's right, you never do know what's going to happen. And that is why we like sports, especially the motorsports. Chris Klein side by side here with Anderson, fighting for that final top 10 spot and the lucky dog spot. Anderson is going to try to hold that one as long as he can. He's going to have the 92 of Stubblefields trying to creep on up there as well. You got the 728 of Timothy Pope. He's been racing hard here against the 92. It looks like he's going to maybe hold off on a charging attack for the moment, as up at the front the 5 makes us dive down underneath the 84. Side by side they go down the back straightaway here, still side by side as they get to 3 and 4, but it looks like the 84 maybe going to try a little crossover move. Oh, as the 72 goes around, he's down back on the back straightaway here, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag. So cautions are being thrown here tonight late in this race. Hard impact into that inside pit wall. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, no ambulance will be needed there. Oh, it looks like the 72 machine's starting to have some engine issues as well. So hopefully he still has a fast repair and can get that car all fixed on up, as we're getting another caution here tonight. Do have some takers down into the pits. Nick Coate, Josh Bittner, and Vince Short all maybe sneaking some extra tires, some extra juice out of that thing. Well, either way, while we have a quick moment here under this caution, let's go ahead and kind of look forward to what's laid out further on in the weekend here. We have on Sunday night, excuse me for the nose sniffles here, as we look forward to Sunday night racing with the Xfinity Series, as they go to Atlanta for 125 laps on Sunday. That is going to be a fantastic time. And then on Monday, same thing with the NTRL, except the Cup Series. They are headed down to Charlotte. So boys and girls, we got ourselves some great racing on track the next few days, and we cannot wait to bring you every single second of that action. And it looks like Anderson was able to get that lap back here, so he is Now up there inside of this top 10 on the lead lap, going to try to fight for this win. Mike Adamson still kind of stuck back here in 5th. He's going to try to make up a ton of this ground here and maybe fly up through this field as this aggression continues to ramp on up with 25 laps left remaining here tonight at Richmond. So it's gonna be Quick and Blake up here starting this party off strong at the front. And it looks like Quick is gonna be quick on that gas pedal, jumping way out in front right off the get-go. That's gonna allow the 69 of Dickerson to go side by side here with that 62 machine right behind him. Brian Neff going way outside on that far outside lane, trying to get around the 84 of Bittner, as the 751 is up underneath him now as well. The 5 Nick Coate still down there tucked on that bottom side. Albert Anderson trying to shuffle his way through some of this crowd as we continue to race on here. 751 side by side with Coate. Still side by side. Ooh, Vince Short, hang on to it, buddy. Looks like he was able to. Woo, dog, that car got a loosey-goosey goose as he's able to save it on that back straightaway here. However, that those tires are going to be absolutely rough. Looks like Carson Conway tried to jump back out onto the track. Unfortunately, though, the car running a little rough. Speaking of rough, woo, 5 of Nick Coate doing a little bit of a jingle-jangle. Jostled down the back straightaway as he was side by side with the 71. Oh, the 5 now up into the outside wall, giving it a little bit of romance out there, scraping some of that paint off. It's all about that weight reduction, boys and girls, as we head on down the back straightaway here. Once again, Josh Bittner trying to pick up that spot, maybe looking towards the outside to make a pass. No, he's going to sit in behind that 5. The 5 getting all up in the 751's business there, right behind that back bumper, and now moves down low to try to make this pass and move on up here into a top 5 spot. Neil Quick, though, being very quick. He's got about a 7/10 lead over the 69 of Larry Dickerson, who's been holding off the 62 of Rich Blake pretty good, but Brian Neff has been putting some good pressure here on the 62 as well. You got the 5 and the 751 here as we're now 20 laps from the end of this thing. Have the 84 in tow, trying to fight for every single spot that they can. Derek Welch comes across the line. He's already fought back from being 3 laps down now to being only 1 lap down. He does have to get up to at least Chris Klein, who he is racing for position right now, if he wants that lucky dog spot, and in 10th place. So that's going to be an interesting battle moving on along as well. Timothy Stubblefield sitting right behind Double O Joe Bennett, trying to stay inside of this top 15 right now, as Brian Neff and Rich Blake continue to try to run down Larry Dickerson and Neil Quick. Fighting, jostling, door banging, doing everything possible under the sun here as Neil Quick drives away from this field out in front with a 16 laps left to go, and the fighting continues on, and it's a fight that you can see throughout this entire field. The 84 now, he's getting all lined up with the 751. They are teammates down there on the Team Limitless as they got as they got that 728 of Timothy Pope creeping up on him as well. Timothy still a couple laps down, trying to get something back here tonight, try to get something of a result As the 5 of Nick Coate goes side by side here with the 62, battling for some podium spots with the 60. You're sitting right there behind them, still side by side as they make their way down into turns 3 and 4 with 15 laps left remaining. Every move could possibly be your last, so they're making them count as the one makes a move here on that 13 of Chris Klein. He did have that spot as they came across the line, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold that spot exiting turn number 2. So Derek Welch now in the lucky dog seat if something were to go awry within these final few laps. Neil Quick still out in front and gaining some ground as the 69 of Dickerson starting to kind of fade back a little bit here. Still holding off that 5 of Nicholas Coate, but losing ground nonetheless to that 27. Adamson, Bittner, and Blake still having a good battle here in this kind of like mid top 10 around 5th, 6th, and 7th. Vince Short trying to get his sea legs back under him here as well, having a good battle. Albert Anderson kind of still stuck back here in this traffic, has a good view of the fight between Double O Joe Bennett and the 92, excuse me, of Timothy Stubblefield, as Adamson looks like he's trying to go down low on the 84 of Bittner here. It looks like the outside lane is, it's the 62 with a little bit of a bump from Bittner there. Goes around, bringing out the caution with 10 laps to go. Oh boy, some feelings are going to be hurt about that one. Let's go ahead and watch this one on back, heading through the corner, and just the slightest of taps there from the 84. The 751 of Adamson was able to drive past through that without too much of an issue. But I got a feeling the 62 machine is not gonna be happy. Someone who is gonna be happy though is gonna be that one of Derek Welch getting that lap back here, and it's the lucky dog. As things are gonna get real interesting now as we're starting to see some aggressiveness heat on up out here tonight. Excuse me for a second, folks, while I give my voice 1 second here, because as this race continues to wind on down, man, I'm not gonna be able to stop talking, and I'm not gonna want to, as we're gonna see some great action out here within these closing laps. These guys do have green-white checkers available to them. I believe they have a total of 3 attempts in their back pocket, just in case we do go into overtime here. What would cause that overtime? Well, if a caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, well, then we're going to have to go into some bonus time to figure this one out, because nobody wants to just have this thing finish off on a yellow flag and the field is frozen, and no one likes that, as everything is just starting to boil and boil here. Looks like Derek Welch coming on down into the pits after getting his lap back here and topping up on that fresh rubber. I got a feeling though fresh rubber may not fully fresh rubber is something you may not want, but 10 lap old tires or something where you can just absolutely hammer on down, that is probably where you want to be. Now, as we prepare to have the lights on this pace car go off and we get ready to go back to green flag race, and we're going to have Neil Quick and Nick Coates side by side, Dickerson and Neff sitting right behind him, Bittner and Short going to be right behind them in that following row in 5th and 6th. We got Mike Adamson and Albert Anderson normally on the same team, but here they are not. They're going to be starting side by side, and then rounding out your top 10 and the only cars left on this lead lap, Rich Blake and Derek Welch. And Derek Welch, he's going to be way back there. He's got to fight through this field because of the wave around. He had a EOL end of line penalty, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make up some ground here, as we're going to go back live with 4 laps to go. So it's essentially going to be a green. I don't know how to count anymore, I guess, but only going to be a few laps of green before we see that white flag come on out, which means every single move is going to be under severe scrutiny here. As here we go into that Geico restart zone we go, and away is that 27 of Neil Quick as he takes control of the lead. The 69 Ed Dickerson in the 5 side by side go through turns 1 and 2, still side by side, heading on down the back straightaway. A little bit of a bump and bang from the 5 and the 69, still having a great battle for some of these podium spots. The 60 of Brian Neff trying to figure his way on out through this kerfuffle of absolute madness. The 15 of Vince Short making his way up underneath the 84 of Josh Bittner, now with 3 laps to go down the back straightaway. They go single file. Behind them, though, goes the 751 and the 747 side by side, battling for every single ounce, every single millisecond here as we continue to race side by side up here with 2 laps to go now. Coate and Dickerson still side by side, still getting things all figured on out as Neil Quick heads out and continues to break free of this main grouping, which means he's going to come back down and across the line, taking that white flag. No more cautions here tonight. Things are going to get all finished up as Mike Adamson gets beaten and banged up. He's going to lose quite a few spots here as we head on down the back straightaway for the final time. The 27 machine breaking down into turns 3 and 4. He's going to come back down and across the line, picking up the race win with the 5 of Nicholas Coate in second and Larry Dickerson in third. It was going to be a drag race, we knew, and it ended up for 4th, and it ended up going to Vince Short, followed by Bittner, and then the 60 of Brian Neff. So Neil Quick here tonight in his debut race, picking up the race win, and that is definitely something he's going to be excited about, and way to bring one home. He's I believe he's part of that yeah, he's part of the Holler Boys racing team, so it was a good win for that team. Jessica, I do agree with you, it sure was a long night. And you know what? We still had a good time. Still got to see some great racing, and that's all part of the fun and the show. Well, Neil definitely has practice doing this, I guess, because he is putting down one of the best, longest burnouts I think I have ever seen without that car breaking loose side to side. Oh, now he's starting to lose it a little bit, of course, as I start to mention it. And whew, that was a heck of a burnout there. And I mean, well deserved for how grueling of a race that was. That was very nice. But we wait for guys to jump up here into the podium chat. And speaking of, here we go. Let's head on down to the racetrack as we get to talk to that 69 machine of Larry Dickerson, picking up a third place finish, a tie for the Hard Charger of the Day award here tonight. Larry, in a pretty good run. No little bit of longer race, 190 laps. That's definitely ain't no joke here at Richmond. But you guys did have a couple good long green flag runs that really helped this race on.
Oh yeah, it was a handful in practice. I could not figure this because I didn't have the track, so I didn't run laps until first time on it till practice tonight. And in practice, I was all over the place, could not figure it out. But I knew if I stayed patient and just settled in, I could figure it out. And I think by this halfway point, once I got the lucky dog, I figured out how to drive into the corners a little bit deeper and how to manage that throttle control a little bit better so that back end wouldn't step out on you.
Yeah, we saw that a lot, especially right after the pit stops. Everyone was struggling a lot on those cold and new tires, and it seemed, as long as you could get about 10 or so laps under the belt on those sets, things evened out pretty good, and we got to see some really good racing. I mean, it's not that people weren't ever able to go side by side. We had a lot of good battles out there. We even saw 3 wide occasionally.
Oh yeah, very early on, like you saw in the Discord and everybody's seen, it was very loose. But once I say probably 10 to 15 laps after you got a green flag run going, the car was tightening up. But in the beginning, like I said, since I didn't have no practice, I've never ran this track. I actually started in the back on purpose because I just didn't want to be that guy you see in official races that goes in turn 1 or turn 3 and just loses in front of everybody and wipes out over half the field. I didn't want to be that guy. But yeah, it was after 10, 15 laps, it tightened up, and I wish I was debating there at the end whether to take. I still had one set of tires in the pits, and I was gonna come in, but I saw people staying out that last car, so I jerked it back on track real quick before I committed. So thank God it paid off.
Oh man, well, for certain it definitely paid off here, picking up a third place podium spot here tonight, Larry. Congratulations. Before I let you go on out there and celebrate and get this weekend all started, do you got any shout outs or anything like that?
Oh, most definitely. I want to give a shout out to NTRL for putting on a great series. The first 3 races I ran in Arca have been miserable. I don't think I finished one race. The only bright spot was that first one I joined with y'all. I got to pole at Kansas, and it was downhill from there on the Arca side. But it's nice to recover and get a top 3. So I want to give a shout out to first Justin for JPD Designs for making my awesome paint schemes. He's been making all, and they look absolutely fabulous. Have a big shout out to him. Like I said, NTRL, awesome league. Anybody wants to find a league to run with very competitive and very clean guys, they need to join this because this is a blast. Y'all for y'all's break broadcast, y'all put on every race with the Arca and Xfinity side, and I enjoy running that and being able to have a chance to talk to y'all. I know in the Xfinity side last race I got to talk to y'all, so 2 times row is pretty good. Shout out to my brother-in-law's construction company who I picked up recently as sponsorship, LA Construction here in town. And my other sponsor, Angelman Syndrome Foundation, is like I said in the Xfinity broadcast, is a rare form of autism that affects everybody different. It hits very close to home to me. I got a couple members with autism. So anybody can donate, help out. Go check that out. We're going to set a great foundation. Shout out to Dylan, who ain't been able to run that many races. I think only one Arca race I think he said he's ran, but I know he runs every Sunday with us on Xfinity side. And he's very fast, very talented racer. So give a shout out to him and give a shout out. I'll talk to him later on. Give a shout out to my wife for listening to me yell on hours on end when I do these league races. I know she heard me yell tonight when I crossed the line, got that third. But yeah, and shout out to all the people who come in and watch this, man. It's like I hopefully put on great broadcast for everybody. I know it was entertaining from my side, and very entertaining race.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on that third place spot and tied for that hard charger of the day, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate, and we'll see you on Sunday night.
See y'all Sunday night, brothers. Y'all have a one. If I don't talk to y'all before Christmas, y'all have a wonderful Christmas.
All right. We did have I think he might have had to take off there or had an issue, but we were going to talk to Nick Cope, but we'll head on up to tonight's race winner. Oh, no. Never mind. I lied. As we talked to the number 5 machine, Nick Cope coming in home in second. That other car tied for the hard charger of the day. So, man, 2 guys up 15 spots finishing on the podium. First off, that's a impressive feat, Nick, in itself, having to fight through that field and cut and dice and what have you, especially having all those long green flag runs that we had kind of towards the start.
What was that? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It was tough coming from the back. You're just like Larry. You were up 15 spots, especially with a long green flag run like we had there at the start. 90 laps of pretty much straight running, and once when everything gets spread on out, was it a little more comfortable, or was it making it a little more difficult?
Yeah, I was in practice. I got really comfortable. I screwed up qualifying. I crashed in qualifying, so that's why I was back there. But I mean, yeah, the car drove good. So.
Oh, I mean, that's always a good thing, and it must have drove pretty good because you're sitting there in second place and you were fighting with Neil there for the race win in those final couple of laps. What was the keys here to these restarts, especially on these colder tires, to really make use of a good run on a fresh set of rubber?
You really you had to take it easy. If you tried to push it too early, you ran the risk of spinning out. And yeah, if you could survive the first couple laps, you could pretty easily start picking people off if you kept the tires underneath you.
Well, you definitely did do that quite a few times here tonight to move up 15 spots. Before we let you go here, Nick, do you got any shout outs or anything like that?
Not really. My girlfriend, fiance, has been the biggest fan throughout all this, and appreciate you guys and all you do for the league.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate it, Nick. Congratulations on out there picking up that second place finish here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you guys back out there in action again.
All right, thank you.
And now with that, we move on up to tonight's race winner, and it's the first race that we've seen over here from him. That's Mr. Neil Quick in the 27 machine, picking up the W here tonight. And Neil, that was not an easy one to bring home for the win. You had people challenging you all over the place. You had to shuffle back through this top 10 a couple of times. It looked like it was just a lot of hard work out there here tonight.
Yeah, man, there's a great group of racers over here, and just talking to Larry about that. It's a really good, nice competitive league that was a lot of work. I mean, you didn't want to get, I know that last there with about 30 or 40 laps to go, I didn't pit and wanted to stay out front because I didn't want to get wired back there and have to work through the field because it seemed like everybody's pretty well the same speed back through there, the top 8 or 10 guys.
And we were seeing that on the broadcast side as well, as people were debating whether or not they wanted to lose that track position. But I mean, in the end, we were seeing you guys run only about a second slower, even on like 90 lap old tires. Was even 2 tires ever a thought?
It was a little bit. Honestly, if it went green and stayed green, that was probably what I was going to do, is just 2 tires and try to speed up the pit stop a little bit. But man, just a lot of luck on my side tonight, and caution fell where I needed to. And man, clean track is king. I mean, if you can get out front and get a good start and stay out in front of these guys, that's a lot of the battle. And I know not running these cars a lot, just the time out there on the track and learning throughout the race, making the adjustments on the car, started to get better at the end there.
Of course, having a longer race like this one definitely helps out with that. 190 laps. That's I would say that's a pretty good practice session out there. Especially as you fight your way through some of that traffic. Some of it for position, some of it not quite for position, but it looked like you had managed to handle that one quite well. So congratulations there, Neil. And before we let you go, you got any shout outs or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the sponsors. I know I don't run this league a lot, but on my Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a lot of sponsors to help me out. WR1 Sims, Chad Wheeler down there, 5-Star Graphics, R&R Racewear, Spartan Logistics and Transportation LLC. All those guys make it happen. And then, of course, the family allowing me the time to do this. I mean, enjoy this, getting out there to race and meet people. And of course, you guys doing a great job with the broadcast here at NTLR. And of course, the admin over here that does a great job too.
Awesome, Neil. Well, again, congratulations on the race win here tonight. Definitely go ahead and head on out there and celebrate it and enjoy your weekend here, buddy.
Yeah, man, that burnout was a little bit of that, so I'll just have a little bit of fun there afterwards.
I was going to say that we got to get a measuring tape down on that one. That could be world record kind of length.
Yeah, I was waiting for the engine to pop there, so I just stopped it before it did it. So, but yeah, a little bit of top fuel burnout, but great way to celebrate on a Friday night, and great way to kick the weekend off and get going. So,
awesome, man. Well, have a good one.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, and with that, we get to close things down a little bit here, and oh man, my voice is definitely feeling it in the back of the throat there. We got Neff Racing just giving us the, I think in sign language, that's the love sign, and we thank you there for that. And we had a great time out here tonight. 190 laps, definitely a long one, but these guys managed to make a tricky track and a long race. Very, very interesting. Oh, excuse me. As we start to shut things on down here, let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver finished up here tonight, bringing us first to that 27 of Neil Quick, picking up the race win. The 5 of Nicholas Coate and the 69 of Larry Dickerson are your tied for Hard Charger of the Race Award here tonight. Both the 5 and the 69 up 15 spots to finish in second and third. The 15 of Vince Short had his own ups and downs, but he was able to finish on up in fourth place, up 10 spots on the night. 84 Josh Spittner finishes right where he started here. Looked like he had a good short run car, but got kind of caught up in some traffic and some incidents there towards the end. Still managing a 5th place finish. The 60 of Brian Neff was up and down as well, but managed to stay inside of that top 10 here tonight and finish in 6th. You got the 747 of Albert Anderson. Went a lap down, got the caution, got the lucky dog, and up 12 spots here in 7th. The 1 of Bogus Derek Welch. He had to fight and claw to try to get that lucky dog as well, which he did do, and managed to snag an 8th place finish here tonight. 9th, we got that 751 of Mike Adamson, having a pretty good run of it. We thought he was going to absolutely run away with it, but the cautions, I think, just kind of kept on creeping up on him there. But it's still a good run, with the 62 of Rich Blake rounding out your top 10. And then from there, we got the 13 of Chris Klein having a pretty good night. He had some good battles going on with the 73 of Josh Kelleher there. Both those guys up 10 spots on the day to finish 12th and 13th. 92 Timothy Stubblefield, didn't hear too much noise from him. He kind of stayed right around where he ended up there in 14th, but it's still a pretty solid night for him, staying out of most of the trouble. You then had 00 Joe Bennett in the 15, having a little bit of an awkward day for him there as well. He's gonna be finishing there in that 15th spot. You then head on down to where Timothy Pope is, and you start getting to people that had quite a few laps down here tonight. So Timothy Pope down a couple here in 16th, 17th. You got the 76 of Jeff Ottinger. Gonna end up being down by about 3 or so laps. Cole Larson, not Kyle Larson, Cole Larson in the 19 machine kind of finished here in 18th, with Carson Conway in the 72 machine having a big time late hit in after getting some fresh tires there. He dropped quite a few spots down to 19th and ended up quite a few laps down. Same thing there with Slim. James Bowden having an issue down there, but still inside of that top 20. In 20th, 21st, you've got Braden, oh man, Maservi. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Braden. Please let me know if I am not, finishing here in 21st. Tyler Holden had a rough race in that 41 machine in 22nd. 23rd is going to be the 46 of Justin Morrow. 34 of David Harden called it a night here pretty early on in 24th, with the double nickel of Tom Barish calling it a night really early. Quite a few laps down there in 25th. So with that, we thank you all for tuning in and watching, and please remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, because we love you guys. You guys are the reason why we do this. We don't want you to miss a single second of the racing action that we bring to you. So be sure to head on out there and get alerted every single time that we go live, as well as hit that thumbs up button so the algorithm on YouTube there knows that, hey, people are liking this. We need to share this with more people. As we also thank our great race sponsors of JP Designs and 3D Prints on out there. Thank you guys so much. Same thing with Davidson Builders as well, jumping on board all season long. We also got to thank Admin Box. Man, they've been strong all season long as well with their support, so thank you guys. Of course, we got to thank Country Through the Ages, your great action replay camera. Didn't use it a heck of a ton of time here tonight, but we did get to see them out there, so thank you guys for that, as well as TrackDogsRacing.com, tonight's race sponsor, as well as just overall sponsor her of the league with their league merchandise. Big time thank you, and of course big time thank you to Track Bar Media as well for that great brand new intro. So you guys be sure to go and check them out online over there, and of course SimGearCentral.com as well. Be sure to go and order a button box from them here tonight. Well, without that out of the way, kind of looking ahead, we got some great racing coming up on Sunday and on Monday. We should have the full crew back by then, so be sure to be on the lookout for that one. But in the meantime, I'm Alan Brown for Alan Brown and Alan Brown. We're calling it a night, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.